In this video, we're going to be doing grade 12 question 1, solve for x, which is algebra. So we're going to be solving these questions together as a practice for anyone. So you are more than welcome to stop the video and do the problems and then check the solutions. Right? So the first question is 5.1.1, of which states it's x squared plus x is equals to 0. Now to solve this one, firstly, you factorize x, and you will be left with x plus 1, which will be left with x open bracket x plus 1 is equals to 0. Then after doing this, you're going to then equate 0 to x, since our main priority is to solve for x, right? So then x plus 1, which is equals to 0, and then the other value of x, it's minus 1. Now for 5.1.2, which it's a square root type of equation, the first thing you're going to need to do for this one is to square both sides. Why? Because you want to remove the square root, because it's the odd one here, so you basically want to remove it. So you're going to square both sides, and then after squaring both sides, you're going on the left hand side, you're going to have x plus 2 is equals to x squared. Now after doing this, you're going to now take the x plus 2 to the other side, of which they're going to change their signs. Mathematically, what we're doing, basically we're subtracting x plus 2 on both sides. Then we're going to have x minus x squared minus x minus 2, which is equals to 0. Then I'm going to factorize this one, of which when I factorize it, I'm going to have x minus and x plus, since this one is minus. Now what are the factors of 2? It's 2 and 1. So I'm going to say the negative 1 it's 2 and the positive 1 it's 1. Reason being that when I add them together, they give me negative 1. Good. Now x is going to be positive 2, or x is going to be negative 1. Now what I usually tell my students is, in the type of questions of the square root type, you have to always select an answer. You can't just leave the question like this, because you have to select the correct answer. Now when you're going to do this, you're going to take the values of both of them and put the x values into the x. So you're going to take 2 and put it into here, and put the 2 on the side. So what you're going to be doing basically is checking, does this value of 2 of x is equals to 2 equal to the other side. You're checking if both sides are equal. If both of them are not equal, then this means that one is not the solution. So you're going to firstly take 2, of which is going to be the square root of 2 plus 2, of which is going to be the square root of 4, of which is 2. Now if you put 2 on this other side, it equals this. This one is a solution. Now let's come to the minus 1. The minus 1, what we're going to be doing, we're going to take the minus 1, put it inside of a square root, and our answer is going to be minus. So it's going to be positive 1, and it's 1. Now when you put negative 1 on this side, does it equal the other side? No, it doesn't equal the right hand side. So left hand side and the right hand side are not equal to each other. Therefore, we're not selecting this one as an answer. Now for 5.1.3, it's x squared plus 3x minus 10 is less than 0. Now to solve this, like usual, you're going to factorize. So you're going to factorize x and check also what are the factors of 10. Now the factors of 10 is 5 times 2 and 10 times 1. One thing you have to be important to check, to take into note, is when you're looking for your factors, you have to make sure that if you multiply them together, they give you the value, or say for in this case they give you 10, and when you add them they give you 3. So in our case, basically we're gonna say what we're going to say is that we're going to say that 5 it's what? It's positive, and 2 it's minus 2, right? Yeah. Because when I add them together, they're going to give me what? They're going to give me positive 3. So from there on, you're going to write CV, which means critical values. Doesn't mean your job application. Critical values, of which from here you're going to be able to write the equal sign. Before you write your equal sign, you have to write the CV, right, the top. So then my x value is going to be minus 5, and x is going to be 2. So these are our values. Now the problem is this is an inequality, so you have to state in which region the answer is found, or the answers are found. So to solve this, what I teach my students is you use the fx method, of which it means that you're gonna let x squared plus 3x minus 10 to equal to f of x, right? So you're gonna say f of x is less than 0, like here. Now you're gonna then graph your graph, and since it's an x squared plus 3x minus 10, it's a what? It's a parabola, right? Smiling. Positive gradient, by the way. You don't need to draw this perfect. Now after doing this, what you're going to do is you're going to check for the y values, since f of x represents the y values. So you're going to check for the y values which are below 0, meaning below the x-axis. So these are the ones. So they start from minus 2 and 2. So meaning that our answer is going to be minus 5x and 2. So this is our answer for 5.1.3. Now for 5.4, it states x minus 1 minus x minus 1 over 2 is equals to 20. Now, to solve this one, you're going to use the k method. You can't do it without the k method, but I usually recommend that you use the k method because it's going to make your life easy and it's going to shorten the procedure. So, and you need to be good with your exponents for this problem. So now you do know that x, specifically this one, 1 is made up of 1 over 2, right? 1 over 2, right? If you add them up, they give you 1. So in here, at the exponent, we have this, right? Now you're going to say let k equal to minus 1 over 2. Now this one is going to be k squared minus k, which is equals to 20. Now it's something that you're familiar with, of which you're going to say x squared minus k, add 20 on both sides, of which it's going to be subtract, by the way, that's what I meant, sorry. So you subtract 20 on both sides, then you can factorize this, and since you know that the factors of this are 5 and 4, so you're going to have k minus 5, k plus 4. K is equals to minus 5, or k is equals to minus 4. Positive 5, by the way, made a mistake. So since we know that k is equals to x to the power of negative 1 over 2, right? What you're going to say now, you're going to say x to the power of minus 1 over 2 is equals to 5. And your x power is going to be 1 over 25. Now, basically what I did here is I multiplied the exponents by negative 1 over 2, right? Yeah, and that's how I found my answer for this one. Now for this one, it's going to be quite tricky, of which minus 4. This one is going to be quite tricky because minus 4, it doesn't have any solutions. So for this one, it's no real solutions. Yes. So I hope you understand. If you don't, you can leave a comment. Good. Now, coming back to our question and looking at 5.2 now. Now, 5.2, this is a simultaneous question whereby we are asked to solve for x. Now, they said solve for x and y if y is equals to x plus 2 and x squared plus y squared is equals to 20. Now, to solve this, what you have to do is you have to firstly note down your equations. You're saying x plus 2 is equals to 0. That's your first equation. And x squared plus y squared is equals to 20. That's the second equation. It's important to do this because you're going to create the third equation. I made a mistake. Which you're going to put it in terms of x or y. Now in this case, they've already done it for us, so we can take y is equals to x plus 2 in order for us to sub y into x squared. X squared plus y squared is equals to 20. So then we're going to do x squared plus x plus 2, which is equals to 20 squared. Then I'm going to solve this, of which I'm going to get x squared plus x squared plus 4x plus 4, which is equals to 20. Now remember that this is x plus 2 and x plus 2. Now from here on, I'm going to add the x squared together, which I'm going to get 2x squared plus 4x plus 4, which is equals to 20. Divide everything by 2 because 2 is a common factor here. I'm going to get x squared plus 2x plus 1, which equals to 16. Right? No, it's not equals to 16. Really error. The reason why I said 16 is because I had already subtracted 20 and 4 to each other. So it's going to equal 10, right? Sorry. So this is 4. No, this is 1 here. Then after here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say x squared plus 2x. Take the 10 to the other side, of which this was 2. Sorry. Yeah, this was 2. Take the 10 or subtract both sides by 10, of which I'm going to get 2x minus 8, right? Right. Now, factorize 2x minus 8. Let me firstly erase this part here, where we can have space. So I'm going to firstly now factorize the x squared plus 2x minus 8 is equals to 0. Now when I factorize it, I know that my factors are 4 and 2, and it's going to be x plus 4 minus 2. Then the value of x, these are the values of x. Now for this, since it's simultaneous, we need the values of y. In order to find them, what are we going to do? We are going to now take the equation that we substituted it into the x squared plus y squared is equals to 20, and input the values of x into it, right? So we're going to have y is equals to minus 4 plus 2, and y is equals to 2 plus 2, which y is equals to 4, and y is equals to minus 2. Therefore, my values of x in coordinate answer or form, these are the answers for both of them. The x value is 2 and 4, and the other one is minus 4 and 2. So for the last one, which is usually the last question of question 1, it states solve for x over y if 2x squared minus 7xy plus 4y squared is equals to 0. Now give your answer in 2 decimal places. Now in order to find your answer, you basically have to divide by y. That's the first thing you have to do, basically, because they already gave you how you should do this, right? So you're going to come to the question and say 2x squared minus 7xy plus 4y squared is equals to 0. And you're going to divide everything by y squared. Why? Because I want to have the standard equation of ax squared plus bx plus c, right? I'm going to divide everything by y squared, of which it's going to be 2x squared over y squared minus 7x over y plus 4, which is equals to 0. Now this is what we know. Now if it is still confusing you, you can just take this as 2, let's say z, since z squared minus 7z plus 4. If it's still confusing you, yeah, you can just say let x over y to equal z, so that it can become easy for you. Now after you've done that, you can now start to use your quadratic equation to answer it, right? Let's use this one of z, of which you're going to say z is equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a, right? So my z answer, of which I'm going to input the minus 7, multiply that, and my b is minus 7 squared minus 4, 2 times 4 again, divided by 2, 2, right? Yeah, apologies for the extra bracket here. Then after doing this, I can simplify it if I want to, and I'm going to have 7 plus or minus the square root of 17 over 4. Now, my z answer, of which I'm going to write it here, it's equals to 0.72 or 2.78. Now, since we know that z is x over y, you can write it and say x over y is equals to 0.72 or 2.78. Since that was the thing, or that is the form that they requested the answer to be in. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment and I will get back to you.